I think that most people are fighting the wrong battle. You think that your biggest problem is discipline or motivation. Or maybe you think it's confidence or possibly even your consistency. Or maybe you're at a point where you've now convinced yourself that you're just lazy. But I don't think that any of those are your biggest battles. I just think they're the places that the real battle actually just shows itself. And if you've spent years of trying to become a better version of yourself, but you somehow keep ending up back right where you started, I don't think you're broken. I think you've just been fighting the wrong thing. Now, I don't know what your life looks like right now, but maybe this sounds familiar. You wake up with every intention of changing, and you tell yourself today's the day, that you've got the plan, you've written your goals, and you're ready to take action because you know exactly what needs to happen. But somewhere between the version of you that wakes up and the version of you that goes to bed, something changes. You either hesitate, you overthink, or you lose momentum. And then you'll just convince yourself that you'll just do it tomorrow instead. But then tomorrow becomes next week. And then next week becomes next month. And after a while, you just stop asking, how do I change? And you start asking, what's wrong with me? And I think that's the question that so many people are quietly carrying. And here's where I think we have misunderstood personal development. We've become obsessed with fixing the things that other people can see, like discipline, confidence, motivation, being productive, even our habits. But what if those things aren't actually the problem? What if they are simply just symptoms of what is really going wrong underneath? Because here's something I've realised in my journey of personal development. Every visible struggle usually starts with an invisible internal battle. So the way I picture it is always like a tree. Everybody can notice the branches, and the branches can represent your habits, your emotions, your tendencies, and your behaviours. Because that is what people can see. But nobody's talking about the roots, the beliefs that you've held on to, the fears that you've never challenged, the pressure that you will quietly put on yourself, the stories that you have repeated so many times that now they've started to feel like facts. And if the roots never change, neither does the tree. So you can spend years trimming the branches, but they'll always grow back if the roots stay the same. And I think that's what so many of us have been doing. We try to just fix the branches without ever understanding the roots. And here's one of the biggest changes that I had to make on my journey. It was changing the questions that I was asking myself. So I stopped asking, why am I not disciplined? And I changed that to, what makes discipline so difficult for me? I also stopped asking, why do I keep failing? And I started asking myself, what battle am I carrying that nobody else can see? Because that simple reframe of question completely shifted my perspective on everything. I went from blaming myself to understanding myself. And honestly, they are two completely different things. So here is something I would genuinely love for you to try this week, because this is where I started to see the biggest changes in my life. The next time you catch yourself saying, oh, I need to have more motivation, or I just need to become more disciplined, don't just stop there. Ask yourself one more final question. What is the battle that I'm facing underneath all of this? Is it fear? Is it pressure? Is it perfectionism? Is it that you've simply just stopped believing in yourself? Or is it that you're scared of failing again? Because once you identify the battle, you can stop fighting the shadows. And that is when you can start to deal with the real issue. So again, I don't want you just to leave this video trying to change your whole entire life. I just want you to become more aware. So this week, notice the moments where you become most frustrated with yourself. And instead of judging yourself, get curious. Ask, what is really happening underneath all of this? Because the awareness, that's not the finish line, but it's where the real change begins. You can't solve a problem from the same level of consciousness that was used to create it. This series is not about becoming somebody else. It's about, first of all, understanding who you actually are. So over the next few videos in this series, we're going to cover some of the biggest invisible battles that most people carry every single day, like the battle of self-trust, mental noise, and seeking approval, even the battle against time. And by the end of this series, my hope is not that you become perfect. My hope is that you understand yourself better more than you ever have before. So before you leave this video, I just want to ask you one question. What's an invisible battle that you've been fighting that nobody else knows about? Let me know in the comments, because I think you'll realise you're not as alone as you think. And don't forget to subscribe so the next video finds you when you need it. My name's Harley. Do the work, trust the process, and I'll see you in the next one.